Hello everyone. So today we are going to start with another question of Leetcode, the one of the most famous question of two pointer. Container with most water. This question is a two pointer approach question. So let's understand and read the question first. The question is saying you are given an integer array height of length and there are n vertical lines drawn such that two endpoints are height. Find two lines that together with the x-axis form a container such that the container contains the most water, return the maximum amount of water a container can store. Notice that you may not slant the container. Okay, so here in let's understand this question in simple words. Consider this, don't consider this as a bar chart or bar, okay, something graph, not like this. Consider it as a containers, okay. This first container, second container, third, you can create containers using these bars. These are under, take these bars as boundaries, borders of your container. So we have to create a container that can contain water with the most wall area. So which container will give us the maximum area? This is the question. We have to create a container which will give us the maximum area to store the water. Okay, so here we are going to solve with the two pointer approach. First, I am placing a left pointer here and a right pointer here. Okay, now what I'll do, sorry, so I'll consider this as a container. Okay, this one, this bar, from this bar to this bar, I'll create a container because my two pointers are here, left and right. So I'll create a container. So if I create a container, what height will I consider? The height of R or the height of L? I'll consider the height of L. Why? Because if these are two bars, this is the bar L and this is the bar of R. So if I'm gonna store water in this one, in this container, so whatever the height of R will be, the maximum water I can store is according to the L, because this one is shorter. If I put water greater than the height of L, the water will overflow. Okay, so that's why I'll just I can only store water according to the minimum. I'm highlighting minimum of the whatever the pointer is minimum, we'll consider that height in the area. So here left one is small, so we'll consider this one left. Okay, now right one is larger, whatever the height will be, it doesn't matter, we'll only consider the height of L. So what is the area of this container? Let's see. Area is equals to, what is the formula of area? Length into width. Okay, this is the area of formula of area. Now the length will be the height of L. Height of L is 1. Okay, 1, you can see here 1 into, how I got 1, okay, how I got 1. So the formula of area will be minimum L R. So whatever the minimum will be, I'll consider that one. And what is the width? The difference between R and L. The distance between R and L is the width. What is the width? 0. L is 0. L is at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So R is at 8, L is at 0. 8 minus 0, 8. This is the formula of width. R minus L. This is the formula of width. And this is the formula of length. So if now after calculating the area, I want I want the maximum area, right? I will store that area in some variable known as max area. Okay. I'll create a variable max area and I will store that area in it. But what we want the maximum area. We want the maximum area. How we are going to get the maximum area? We'll keep incrementing and decrementing the pointers until we get the maximum area, right? So my left is small, right? My right is large, height is large, right? So can I say that I should move my left pointer further to get more area? Yes, definitely we can. Why I am not decrementing R? Because R is already taller. R is already has more height than L. So I want to that if I increase the L, then that means that I can get the more area. So I will increment L. I'll move L here. Now my L will be here. This bar is large. This bar is much greater than this. But still, I am gonna consider the this is the container, right? But still, I am gonna consider the height of R, because whatever the minimum height is, we are considering, as I told you earlier, that the water will overflow otherwise. The height of is R, and the length is the difference between them. Now the height is, before the height was 1, now I we are considering the height of R, which is much greater, and the height of R is 7. 7 is the height, and what will be the width again? What L is at 1 and R is at, let me remove everything, so it's getting messy now. Okay, fine. Here is my L and here is my R. Width is 7, length is 7, and the height is 7, and the length is width, I mean width is the difference. R is at 8, L is at 1, so the difference is 7, and 7 into the width here, from here 7 into 7, the area is 49. Okay, now we'll keep repeating this process. We'll keep iterating until our left pointer is less than or equals to R. If you have solved two pointer questions before, then you already know that how we how we loop through the two pointers. So when the left and right will get equal, the loop will break. Okay, so let's jump towards the code. I hope you understood the approach and the intuition behind that. What are we gonna do in this code question? It's just simple question. We just need to create a container which contains the most water. Okay, let's jump towards the code. Sorry, today I'm coughing a lot. Sorry a lot for that. Okay, so here is the code. Left pointer is equal to 0. Right pointer length of height array minus 1. Okay. Now I'm going to create a variable max area to store the maximum area is equals to 0. By default it's 0. Now I'm going to iterate through the whole or with two pointers. Left is equals left is, is less than equals to r, while that keep running the loop until the left is less than and equals to right. So that means that when the left will cross the right, then that means that we are finished and there are no other bars left, so we have to break the loop. Now area is equals to, we are calculating the area now, minimum of height index number L. We are just getting the value from the height at index number L, right? Height index number R. So whatever the minimum will be, it will be considered as the height into length. Length into width, right? So length is the here the minimum one, and the what is will be the width? It will be the R minus L. We are gonna subtract left from R, and we will get the distance between the two bars. Now area calculated, and if we are gonna put the condition if L, if height L less than height R, that means if the height is less than, then we are gonna update in increment L. Else I'm gonna increment R. Sorry, I am gonna decrement because there's a two pointers, so we uh, bring the right backward in every iteration and bring the left forward. So R minus equals to 1, and max area will be I'm gonna write max, whatever the max will be, current area that, and the previous maximum area, that I am gonna store the maximum area always in the maximum area. This max function is comparing the area, current area, and the before number which was stored in the maximum area. Whatever the number will be greater, it will store in the maximum area. When the while loop will finish, I'll return max area. Submitted. Yeah, great. Accepted. All test cases passed. So try to execute this question. Try to write it on pen and paper, then write it write it 5 to 10 times. If you still don't understand, write it again and again, try run it, then you will understand it easily. So I hope you liked the video. If you want more leak code questions and a lot of programming tips, subscribe my channel.